Live. Less than 30 seconds.
We're live, bro. Got cat hair everywhere.
Well, that's what you want to let the people know.
Cat hair everywhere.
Cat Daddy himself, ladies and gentlemen. The Cat Daddy himself.
In the building.
In the building. Let's get the party started. Welcome to the safe space.
Yo, this is not a trip down memory lane. Here's a little story, now let me explain. It's more of an antidote, mixed with a lot of hope. This could be a lot of folks, single parent, dead broke. Spend a lot of time alone, making beats on the phone. Daddy ain't coming home, mama trying to stay strong. But her patience is running thin, getting sick and tired of all the trouble he's in. Fussing and fighting, it's hard to make friends, and she just gotta call, he's in the office again. One more time and they might suspend. Screaming, teacher, teacher, give him one more chance. Losing all faith like he just can't win. His back's to the wall cause he following trends. Afraid to seem weak so we gotta pretend. Life out of control, can't see no end. He needs safe space, someone to relate, help him to be great. He needs safe space, someone to reward, never to ignore. They need safe space, someone to respect, open intellect. We need safe space, got to regulate, try to balance the way. We need safe space, I need safe space. Yeah, principal says, welcome to my office, you could come on in. I wanna introduce you to a whole new lens. We all process stress, we don't understand. State dependent function, let's come up with a plan. Life starts with a heartbeat, heard you made some hard beats. I'ma check the music class, get you an extra seat. Cause you need unity, it's all about community. Building opportunities for healthy continuity. It's gonna take much more than you and me, but you can see we extra deep. We got teachers, counselors, and even celebs. Everybody's involved in the therapeutic web. It's not a quick start, but it's more like a marathon. Dosing and spacing, just to help you carry on. It's about time that we make this change. Trauma-informed movement, educating your brain. He needs safe space, someone to relate, help him to be great. She needs safe space, someone to reward, never to ignore. They need safe space, someone to respect, open intellect. We need safe space, got to regulate, try to balance the way. You need safe.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yo.
We are officially back in it. Safe Space Podcast. I go by the name of J. Vincent B. My government name is Jared. The Chief Operations Officer of Youth for Your Mental Health, joined by a cast of incredible, extraordinary people. We got Mr. Sean Lewis. We got Alicia Cherie.
Hey.
And we got our guest of honor, Sean Donatello.
Yo, what's going on, people?
We got a great discussion for tonight, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I see you, Stevie. I see you, LaRon. Yeah, we got a lot to cover, man. And it's already 8:06. So now that everybody's here, I'm gonna let you check in first, bro.
What's going on, people? This is your boy, Sean Donatello. But in the at the office, my government name is Sean McBride. my coworkers know me as McBride. Hey, babe. Cool. And I'm here with my beautiful wife, Mrs. McBride. You want to say hi to the people?
Hi.
Yo, what's up?
Just doing some laundry.
Nice.
Hey, do the
Hey,
duties. Okay.
sis.
Okay.
Little safe space laundry.
A little safe space laundry.
Yeah.
Let's check in, ladies and gentlemen. Highs and lows. We're doing highs and lows for the week. Some self-care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
High week. I've been disciplined to the regimen, ladies and gentlemen, which is one of my toxic traits. Is just so for me. Definitely a toxic trait is the moment I start to see results, like in anything, like whether it's lately it's been my vocal practice. I get laxed. I'm like, oh, snaps, I'm killing it, I'm done. And that's my toxic trait. And so even in the space of me being or feeling the progress, I've continued to be disciplined and committed to what I'm trying to achieve. So with that and working out has been tough. I lost like 10 pounds and I'm like, oh, I'm sexy for the summer already. I'm done. And it's like, no, bro. No, you're not. You have a very, very,
no, you're not.
no, you're not, bro. You have a very long way to go. Stop playing. Keep the party going. So
I'm thinking more of yourself.
So I'm proud of myself for seeing the progress and still chipping away at the regimen. So that's a high for me, is keeping the party going with my plans. Lows for the week. No lows. I can't say that I fell down this week. I stayed strong. Self-care has definitely been the cardio. On the other side of cardio has been the sprinting. Long distance it's been fun, but the sprinting and just topping out some high speeds, that was good. That was good for me to feel that adrenaline rush. It's like that's that dopamine release, and it's literally was a type of self-care for me this week, is getting to the track, putting on my cleats, reminiscing the days when I used to run CIF champs. Shout out to the CIF champs out there. This is track season too, so yeah, it's good. Those the highs, those the lows, self-care. I got into some music this week. I was telling Jay earlier about this idea that I had. I got a chance to lay that down. Haven't shared it with anybody yet, but just getting my ideas out is always a form of self-care. So I took some time to get my ideas out on some records, and that was fun. Music. That's my
Nice. You've been on your music, huh?
I've been on my music, man. Once I got out of jail, once I get out,
clear it up.
That's right.
Once I get out, I gotta get smart. Most people go to like the in and out. I go straight to the keyboard.
Nice, man. I love to hear that. I love to hear that you're doing that, bro.
I have to, man.
Makes me feel happy about that.
Thank you, Haskell. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
While we got you, CEO, you want to go ahead and let the people know how your week been?
Week has been good, man. I'm preparing to go to Big Bear tomorrow and take wifey and Genesis up there, spend some days to kind of get away from the city. And it's Cynthia's birthday on Saturday.
Hey.
So a definite high. And also along with that, she finished her challenge, her 4x4x48. And I was able to help her out with that. So that was as a high, to seeing her smile and finish her goal, a tremendous goal.
You want to explain a little bit about what that is? Because
4x4x48. So that's a David Goggins challenge, where you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So if you started, we started at 8 p.m. on Friday. Then she did that within like 30, 45 minutes. She ran her 4 miles and then she rested for 4 hours. And then we had to be back at 12 to do it again. And then you rest 4 hours. Then you do it again at 4 in the morning. Then you rest and you do it again at 8 in the morning. Then you rest and you do it again at 12 or 8, 12 or 8 up to 48 hours. So 48 miles. So she ran 48 miles in 2 days.
That is a tremendous compliment. Cheers. Man. You deserve this Big Bear trip.
Man. Yeah.
Jackson.
So she did that.
Sorry, Miss Jackson, you have to go through that, but I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah. So get a chance to let our hair down this weekend and chill a little bit up in Big Bear. And as far as lows, no lows really. My sleep was horrible, though. I mean, my sleep was horrible because it kind of changed my clock up. Waking up every 4 hours and doing that just kind of put our mind in a tizzy. It was crazy. So that was a low. It's kind of sleeping, kind of whack. Self-care. Well, that started me riding my bike back because I was riding next to her as she was running. So I was on the bike, and so now I'm biking again. And when we get back, I'm gonna jump back into my miles and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll popcorn and just and that. Take it out, brother.
I for this week stayed really busy. That was kind of a high end of low. Had a lot of work projects with my job, had some quarterlies to knock out. So caseloads like 40 people. So we had to soldier through that. Today, I just took it extra easy. That was my high of the week. And I'm looking forward to just unwinding for the rest of the weekend. Just taking it easy for my self-care.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna popcorn it to Miss E. Cherie.
Hey, everybody. So highs for the week. I had a pretty good call with my management team. And we talked about a lot of cool things that are coming up on the music side of things. So that was definitely a high. Lows, I'd rather just stay away from those because it's been high key a pretty low week for me, and I haven't had one of these types of weeks in a long time. So I'm gonna just stay away from that because we got to keep the vibes. Got vibes high.
Talk about it. I feel that.
You've been staying away. This is the second week you've been staying away from it. So we don't have to do outside podcast check in. I don't like that. Just stay away. Nah.
I mean, we can talk about it offline. We can talk about it offline. No, I know y'all got me.
Follow up.
Okay. I'm just not really ready to talk about it. So I appreciate y'all and being supportive in that way. And then
we got you as much as you
man.
can. Okay?
I love you too. I know y'all do. I know y'all got me, and I love y'all right back.
If we have to beat Jay down, we will. We just take his glasses and make sure he'll get no more haircuts for the rest of the year. And it's a wrap. We take his glasses, and he's not getting a haircut for the rest of the year.
Now that's pretty cruel.
We call that tough love around these parts.
Oh man. And as far as self-care, I've been getting more sleep. I mean, that's kind of a result of what's going on though. So it's kind of like self-care, but also on a negative.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, y'all. It's a weird week, but
Okay.
I'm good. I'm alive. That's a high for the week, so I have no complaints.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to tonight's podcast and hearing from my big bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that. All right. Well, all right.
Well, all right.
Get it.
Yeah. Are you gonna popcorn it?
Oh, I guess I should pop.
Popcorn.
My bad. It's still getting hot. I will popcorn it to J. Vincent B.
Wow.
Mm.
Look at me starting stuff. The full game.
She matching the energy.
No, I didn't say it's government. It's government. That means he's in trouble.
Anywho.
What was your role in Lydia?
Yo. Shout out to Xenia. Man, high for the week. I guess just being able to I realized this week that I am I was born a counselor.
Okay.
And I had this epiphany that I'm a counselor, and everyone around me that I associate with are counselors as well. Whether by profession or not, we are counselors. And I just realized it this week. Oh snap, that makes a lot of sense. Even everything I do is counseling. The music I make, every interaction that I have is centered around counseling. So that was a high and a low, because now I was oh snap, all my relationships are counsel-esque. I'm oh snap, I need to figure out how to work on that. If I can work on that. Is there any working on that? You're, as a counselor, you're a counselor. But finding that balance. So I guess the low is around wrestling with that balance this week. And so self-care, this week was just showing myself grace and getting rest when I can. Oh yeah.
Man. Good stuff.
Yeah. But without any further ado, I think it's time.
It's that time.
It's that time.
What time is it?
Yeah.
What time?
You know what time it is?
It's that time.
Come with us behind bars.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo. It's time to go behind bars.
Okay.
Time to go behind the bars. So, ma'am, to kick off this conversation, Sean Don, tell the people just a little bit about your background and how you ended up where you are right now. The occupation.
This was not a part of the PowerPoint notes that you sent me. I didn't know I was going to talk about my background, bro. That's classified information.
Well, yeah.
Dang. All
You
right.
don't.
You got
can give. You can
Background?
give the redacted version.
Okay.
You don't have to give everything. Whatever you feel safe.
Whatever feels safe.
Yeah.
Okay, background. Like I got a lot of background, so let's let's just pick up. It's from what 18. Like we'll go back to 2004, when I started finding some purpose. So it was then when I actually met my lifelong friends, J Bone, aka J Vincent B, who is hosting the show tonight, and Smoke Loke, aka Eric Tucker, and I started doing music. Did not have a background in music at all, unless you consider like listening to music and you know enjoying music, like musical experience. I don't know, but I started actually like doing music, like writing raps and producing and, you know, trying to sing and playing instruments. I'm at 18. So from there to now, I still do music. But in order to kind of have some stable income, I transitioned into teaching. I started teaching out in Compton, California, where I was born and raised. That was cool. I was teaching second grade, gearing up to teach 10th grade. I was a history major, so I wanted to teach 10th grade history. That was the course that kind of affected me the most, and that was like the age that I felt like I was, you know, like susceptible to receiving information and, you know, trying to figure out my path. I was a teacher, and that was fun. Learned a lot in the classroom. Learned a lot about the educational system. Learned a lot about people. Learned a lot about just a lot about life, being in the classroom, like working an actual regular job. That was cool. Then fast forward into a few years ago when I transitioned into becoming a correctional deputy for the county of Riverside. It's funny because I feel a lot like Jay in the sense that I feel like I got into that because I was kind of a naturally born counselor. A lot of people came to me, they just came to me and they would unpack. Like I would never even ask, like, "Hey, what's going on?" To this day, I never ask people how they're doing. I just don't. I never did. But people just felt the need to tell me everything that was going on, and that was cool. Like I embraced it, and I would always do my best to offer, you know, some lanes, some avenues of advice. Try to give people, you know, hope. That was my thing. Like I was bred in hope, so I definitely have a lot of hope and faith to give to people, you know, when they're going through the craziest of situations, which was cool and worked out, and why I got along with a lot. Why I got along well with my students, and why I kind of get along with my coworkers in the jail and a lot of the inmates. So background check done.
You did that. You did that.
Background check completed. Next question.
We were telling. I was telling you a story about a show I was watching. I was watching Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
And they had some prisoners in the lockup in jail in the holding cells, and the prisoners were chilling. Like, first of all, the cells were both open, and like they were cursing out the sheriff, like, and it was just like super casual. And I was just like, this can't be life. Like this is not real in any sense of the word. And the fact that they even like put this on TV, I wonder how many other people have really just no idea what is really happening, and whose views of jail are skewed based off of movies and popular television. So I was wondering, what are some of the like biggest myths that you dispel on the regular?
That's a that's a great question, and we were talking about that, and like it's funny because I do this with my family. I'm like before I delve into like before I even like started talking to my wife or anybody about like what actually happens in the jail, like I wanted to know like what do you guys think is going on in there? Like what do you guys think? And you share with me, Jay, what you think, and based on, you know, some of the shows, but like, you know, Hask and Alicia S. Dot, like, what do you guys like? What is your perception of the jail life? Like, what do you guys think is going on in there? And then I'll clarify.
Well, I was watching the same episode of Murder, She Wrote, because Murder, She Wrote is our stuff over here. Like, don't hate. But I actually know a little bit more because of like my background, and one of my previous jobs was working for like a news site. And so we actually did like a whole series on like different, I guess you could say, jails and penitentiaries or whatever, like across the world. And it's interesting because a lot of facilities outside of the US actually like really believe in reform and not necessarily like locking people up and, you know, keeping them in, you know, this little tiny, you know, box pretty much. There are like a lot of places like overseas where it almost looks kind of luxurious. Like they are in a facility, like, yeah, like you can't just be out in the general public right now, but like you're in a facility where you have like access to a kitchen and you get to like, you know, you have more time outside and it looks kind of nice. So I know that like here though, like we have a totally different approach to, you know, the way that we discipline our quote unquote deviants. So I know that it's a lot harsher than what I'm seeing on TV, and you know, with TV you really can't believe all that you see on TV anyway. So I know it's not cute, but some of the stuff that, you know, I have heard, you know, that secondhand information from Jay about some of the stuff that you've seen, I am like, I don't even know how Sean Don is doing this, because it would mess me up mentally, for real, witnessing some of the stuff that you've seen.
Oh yeah, I messed up for sure, to say the least. I am not the same. What about you, CEO?
What I think about prison, well, seeing that I have had a lot of family members to spend time there. And what I mean by a lot of time, I mean like more than half of their lives there. So from writing letters to them and sending pictures and all that kind of stuff, and the stories I've heard, you know, you get kind of some of the same things. You know, you got the rape situation, you got the suicides, you got the people that are 5150, you got security guards that are just crazy, like, you know, over the top. And then you have others that are really cool security guards that they can't let their guard all the way down, but people know that they're there to kind of help. And then you got the transgender situation that happens there. You got the gang units. Yeah, I've heard a lot of.
Yeah, it sounds like,
Am I
you could be a deaf out here. Have you been? I need to look up. You see, you got a booking number.
Been to Motortech. Been to Motortech before.
I'm about to do a background check on my CEO.
Yeah,
Dang,
no,
oh, that's pretty that's inside information. But
well, I've
really,
heard it from the inside.
well, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that one.
So yeah, that's that's what I've heard.
All right.
I never want to be there. I'll tell you that.
No.
But I respect what you do. But
Copy that.
Yeah.
What about you, S. What have you heard? What are you thinking is going on behind the bars?
Word. I've had, over the last few years, I've had some interactions and worked with some people who had come out of prison. So I've definitely had contact with parolees, and some of the perspectives that they've given me, they've shared how a lot of prisons are clicked up. They got different inmates that are, they got their cliques, they got their gangs and sets, and it looks kind of similar to how it is out in LA. Sometimes it's, very race specific, depending on locations of jails. But that's what I've heard.
Yeah. That's actually probably one of the truest, weirdest things about being in jail. So to kind of clarify this, jail and prison are two different spaces. It's not a huge difference, but the subtle difference is jail is like the waiting place.
Right.
You've just been charged. If you're in jail, you've been charged. Like, say a officer pulls up to a scene, he doesn't know the story. Like, so he books you, and you. He doesn't know who's innocent, who's not, who did what. But because all three of you guys were there, you're all getting booked in. And after contact with your lawyers, you go to court, you find out what's really happening, you go to trial, and then based on whether you're convicted or not, you go upstate prison or you just get released. So jail is kind of like the waiting place, which is, I hear, is a little bit harsher conditions than prison. Prison is what Alicia was talking about, has more of a luxurious feel. I wouldn't say luxurious, but you have more amenities, you have more access to outside. Like, you can go hoop, play basketball, and a lot of guys get to work, do different programs and jobs, computer access, stuff like that. So prison is a little bit different, but also prison is where this is when people talk about, I keep thinking about freaking that episode off of Boondocks. Was it what is it?
Yeah.
Booty warrior.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm a warrior.
He's more likely to exist and thrive in a prison.
Oh man.
In a prison.
No, that's that. More so than a jail. Jail has way more cameras. There's a lot less blind spots inside of a jail. We're sitting in a pod 24/7, monitoring what's going on in these day rooms. The only thing that's not monitored is the showers. But we can see the showers, but we can't see inside the showers for liability and reasons. Of course, you don't really want to be able to see somebody in the shower. That's just weird.
Right.
But for the most part, you can see what's going on at all times. So the whole rape thing, that's not happening. Like, it's not like every day. It's not you got to go to sleep like worried that somebody's about to come take it from you in jail, because we can see if somebody's coming over to somebody's bunk, or when lights go out, there's still lights, we can still see. So we really work to prevent. We have what we call PREA, which is a Prison Rape Elimination Act, where we work to prevent those types of episodes from happening. Prison is, I don't know. I've never been to prison. I don't really know what happens there, but I hear that that's where it happens more so. A lot less in jail, more in prison. But it's not like an everyday thing. Like, like I actually, since I've been here, I've only heard of a potential like almost rape, but nobody has really just gotten taken advantage of like that. Because we're doing our due diligence. We're watching, and we listen to people when people say, "Hey, I feel uncomfortable." well, my cellie or this person has been making, these types of gestures, et cetera, et cetera. We're quick to, separate them, move them to different places where, people are safe. Our job is to maintain the safety and security of the facility. And that's one of our things, to make sure nobody's getting taken advantage of. So that's one of the things to, I bust that myth. It's not what you think. Right? You don't have to be, super guarded in regards to that.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's the news.
One of the things people probably don't know about is jail is extremely segregated. Like, if you think the 1950s were bad, jail is, they call it cards. Like, you either run with the brothers, you run with the Woods, those are the white guys, and you run with the homies. The homies is the Hispanic community, but the Hispanic community breaks up into two different parts. It's the homies and it's the paisas. Paisas, as you can imagine, are like the Hispanic group of people from Mexico. Like, they only really speak Spanish, and like they're a little more like, have a little more, they say, these guys are probably more closely linked to the cartels and
Right.
The high-end gangs. So yeah, like, it's the moment you get in, you have a specific shower, you have a specific toilet. You can't even bunk up. Like, a black guy cannot bunk up with a white guy. White guy cannot bunk up with a Hispanic guy. Like, those are grounds for getting packed out and rolled out of your bedroom. Or
Sure.
yeah, like, and I didn't know how serious it was. The inmates let me know that. Like, they're like, yo, he just ate at our table. Like, you got to move him down or else he's gonna get packed out. I'm like, wait, what? Like, he's just eating. He's like, yeah, nah, that's the program rules here. So something that I learned, like, it's not like it's not a melting pot. As much as you like to think it is, like, everybody's in here, we're all criminals, we all fall under that umbrella. Like, no, it's still very much segregated inside the jail. Did not know that.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, wild. It's wild behind the bars, man.
Yeah. So you can't go to jail on your Martin Luther King expecting to just unite everybody.
No, man. It's I mean, nah. It's all about what, as soon as you get in, they ask you who you run with. So it all depends. It all depends, because I've met some guys that are white and they say, I run with the brothers. I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, they know that, but as long as you let everybody know who you run with out the gates, there's not a problem. But and there's no switching. Like, if you switch, it's just like a gang. Like, you try and switch sides, it's like getting put on and put out of the gang. Like, you're gonna catch the fade from the whole squad, and that usually sends people to the hospital. If you're like, yo, I don't want to run with the brothers no more, they're like, cool, say less. And yeah, they pick a certain time when the Debs ain't watching, and it's a 6-on-1.
What about the officers that are different races amongst each other? You have the racism amongst officers too?
I don't feel like it is. I mean, I feel like they do their best. We do our best to not make it feel like it's, racist or segregated, because we like to consider ourselves like our own type of brotherhood. Like, it's us against them type of thing, So yeah, I've had my own individual experiences with some deputies that did not feel like I belonged. but then I've had some experiences where like I've had, you know, some of the Mexican homies come to my aid. Some of my Caucasian friends come to my aid like really quickly. Like you're one of us. Like, yo, we in this together type. So I've seen both sides of the coin, but for the most part, I think the way things are moving in 2023, like if somebody gave me that impression that they were being, you know, discriminating against me as an employee, they're more fearful of that, because all I would have to do is go to the sergeant and say, I feel like this person is being racist, and they're done, because it's like a zero tolerance policy against, you know, that type of thing. So for the most part, if they are, they hide it deep. You probably won't see it until something goes down. Like if I'm in the middle of a fight, they'll just let me fight alone. That's the only time you'll probably see it. But for the most part, they're not going to say anything. They're going to do their job and do their best to make sure there's no evidence of racism in the workplace. So yeah, we kind of all together. We're all together on that one.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Oh, yeah. I know you've had, you just spoke about having experienced some wild scenarios. Can you talk about what kind of mental health tools are needed for really being able to cope or even exist in that environment?
So for me, or for an incarcerated person?
For you.
For me?
Yeah.
Man. Tools. So, and Jay, we talk about this all the time, because it's mental is a big part of it, but spiritual is also a part that I don't neglect.
Right.
I've come to realize that, you know, in this facility, so just disclaimer, I do believe in the spiritual realm. I do believe in spirits. I do believe in negative spirits and dark spirits and spirits of violence and spirits of sexual perversion, spirits of anger, you know, the spirit of violence, everything. Like, I believe in that. And when you really think about it, walking into this facility, you are walking into a place that harbors all of these spirits, because these people are here and they've done something and probably opened the door to some of these spirits. So like me, I'm walking in and all of these spirits are just running to and fro in this type of environment. So one of the things that we talk about, like, Jay, you tell me all the time, like, hey bro, like, hey, make sure you put your armor on. Make sure you put your armor on, your spiritual armor on. So that's one of the things I do to protect myself in this type of space. Like, I put on my spiritual armor, because you can get infected with the environment, the things that you see, the things that you hear, the people that you're around. It's a dark place. It's a dark place. And so first things first, I definitely put on my spiritual armor. And anybody that knows me, back to the mental health aspect, anybody that knows me knows that as soon as I come in, I call it coffee and cafe music. This is my, like, for the first 3 or 4 hours, I like to play a certain type of music to set the tone for the day. And it's usually some John Coltrane, some Duke Ellington. It's like classical jazz. Like, I like to set the tone. This is one of the things I really feel helps keep my mental, like, steady and calm. Because it's very easy to get riled up, get mad at an inmate for doing some stupid stuff, you know, right, and just feel the intensity of your other deputies when they get mad, and you want to just, you know, you're always, it's if you're not mindful, you're always 5 seconds away from slapping somebody. Like it's that easy because like a lot of times you feel like you're just dealing with some kids and it's like, yo, all right, let's go in. It's like, no, let's not go in there. Let's be cool. So one of the tools that I use to help keep me, solid and grounded is music. I play music throughout the day, and it's not music that it's not DMX. Like it's not nothing that's gonna, rile me up to make me want to make bad decisions. It's music that kind of soothes the soul so that I can stay clear and I can do what I'm supposed to do in this space. You know what I'm saying? So one of the tools that I use for sure is making sure I'm feeding myself, the music that's going to help me be my best self at all times, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even when I come home, like I put on the music, I put on the jams, start freestyling. I usually freestyle all the way home about my day. I think that's
dope.
I think
That's right.
One of the tools that's necessary for coping in this space is being heard. Like everybody feels the need to be heard, and which means to communicate. You need to communicate. You need to talk about what's going on, and that's what I do. Like whether it's for me, I can just freestyle and get it out my system before I get home, and just bring that energy home. I get it out, and I hear myself. God hears me. Sometimes at the wildest days, I'll holler at Jay on the way home, like, yo, Jay, you're not gonna believe what happened today. And that's him, in his counseling role. And he just hears me. And sometimes that's just enough for me to, it's enough to pass the burden off to just, okay, cool. I'm good now. So I think, communicating, having somebody that you can talk to and, tell about the crazy things is necessary to exist in this type of space.
Yeah.
That's it. No other tools. That's it. Just music and talking about music.
Well, your first tool, which was the armor, the spiritual piece. For people who don't know what that means, like what does that mean in layman terms? To put on the armor, or to
there are no layman terms, man. In the book of Ephesians. Okay. Pastor McBride.
All right. Someone who didn't know what the whole armor was might not know the book of Ephesians.
I know it's I can't even. It's like it's no layman terms for this.
Yeah.
It's but I reference the Bible because that's where I get it from, and it talks about us living in a daily spiritual warfare against those spirits that I mentioned.
Yeah.
If you believe that they exist, then you want to guard yourself against them. And the Bible talks about there being a helmet of salvation, a shield of faith, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel, and the belt of truth. And I keep my sanity by remembering these things, remembering to be honest. If I'm going to fight against these things, I fight with the sword, which is the word of God. If I'm going to shield myself against the fiery darts of these spirits, I'm going to use my shield of faith and speak out loud that I am protected, my family is protected, my mind is protected. And the helmet of salvation, that's the mind. Like, you guard your mind with remembering, who you are, who your God is, and what the enemy is not able to do to you, and just put on the
That's
armor and do what I do best. Do my job. Just do my job. Yo, this is flying by, man. Like way fast. Like this is a lot, bro.
I got a question.
Do I smell
got
a part
question.
2 coming?
I don't know. But what's going on, S-Dot? What you got, player?
I've heard that sometimes going back into communities, being in regular society, can be a mentality shift required for you to kind of be grounded and readjust. Do you find that working with the population in prison that you experience that type of difficulty? And how do you kind of ground yourself after you clock out to re-enter society, go back home, spend time with the missus, and still be a family man without allowing that baggage and the stresses of the work life weigh you down? What do you do about that?
Well, with these guys, there's a little analogy that I use, because there is going to come a time where they go back into society, and I use it from like the parent-child perspective, and I tell them, I'm like, hey, I don't know if you guys have kids or not, but I like to look at this place. Speaking of safe space, like I like to look at this space, or I encourage them to look at this space as a safe space. In the sense that the same way a mother or a father puts up those little guards and those little barriers, you know, like if a mom is in the kitchen and she's cooking and she got hot stuff around and she puts that little gate up in the doorway so that they can't come in. She kind of like traps the kid, and like, you know, they can't go up the stairs. They just have to stay in like the living room. I'm like, you guys got to look at it like this, because you're here because at some point your father, which is God, said, I don't think you really understand what is dangerous or what is a threat to you. Just like a child, he doesn't know that the fire is hot. He doesn't know that he can fall down the stairs and die. He doesn't know that he can bump his face on the edge of the table. So as a parent, you lock them off, and because they're just roaming around, they're running around, they could hurt themselves. And God is like, a parent is like, yo, I want to protect you. I need you to be safe. You're not really understanding the danger of this life yet. So I'm going to put you in this space for you to kind of reflect and to think about what is really dangerous out there. And then, you know, once you've heard me, once I've gotten through to you and you understand that, hey, you're here because you didn't realize how crazy this drug was. You didn't know how dangerous hanging around this person was. You didn't know how dangerous, you know, driving the way that you're driving is. So I had to call the time out for you, you know, put you in a safe space so you can gather your thoughts. And when I do that, I feel like they go within themselves and kind of, you know, think like, okay, all right, this is a timeout because I was obviously wilding out. And in that space, they can kind of be like, okay, I think I know what I want to change, you know, about my own behaviors. Otherwise, you know, my parents are going to lock me back up. So I use that analogy to kind of encourage them to dig deep and think about why they're here and think about who they want to be the next time they get the chance to be who they want to be. If that makes sense. And for me, like I said, it's the outlets. You definitely need your outlets, and my outlet is music. I get to talk about like life on a whole nother level now because I'm hearing stories that I've never heard before. Like I'm hearing like real life. I mean, you hear stories from artists that you know that has been in these places, but I'm hearing stories, and it forces me to think and dig deep and reflect. And I feel like it makes me a better person. It makes me, it's an outlet. I get to get it out of my system, and I get to talk about it. And that allows for me to be, I guess, what's the word? I guess kind of, it's like a cleansing almost. It's like when the moment I'm able to talk about it and kind of just let it go and breathe it out. Like I don't bottle it up and baggage it and bring it home and take it out on the missus. So yeah, that's what's been helpful for me since I've been here, is music and talking about it. Just talking about it.
Good. That's good.
I don't even know if I answered any of your questions.
You did. You
Definitely did.
You gave both perspective of people inside and for yourself, and that's great.
This is what high school warned me about.
Oh,
you did good, man.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
Solid.
you get an A+.
A+. All right.
Hey,
Here we go off. Fine.
Before we wrap, man, you got to give some shout outs, man.
Please.
Yo, shout out to my Music for Your Mental team, because definitely since I started this, you guys have been like an outlet. Like I do get to laugh about what's going on a daily. I get to talk about it. I don't have to walk around heavy with this heavy project that I'm working on, this heavy assignment. So shout out to y'all, man. It's been amazing having an outlet and people to actually be heard, about what's going on in my personal life. Shout out to my extremely beautiful and supportive wife, Rena May. She's always there to give an ear and listen and laugh and encourage me through the wild things that happen behind bars. And shout out to my team, man. Shout out to my team, man. Riverside. You guys have taught me a lot, and you guys keep me true to myself. Special shout out to my core team partner, Yusuf. If you ever watch this, you my guy. You my guy, bro. And I can't forget my Heavenly Father. He put me here for a reason. So thank you for whatever I'm supposed to be learning here. Thank you for the experience. And I'm looking forward to everything that comes of this.
That's good.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you sharing, man.
Yeah.
Dropping gems tonight, man.
Oh, dropping the gems. If there's anything you could tell to someone who's thinking about becoming a law enforcement officer, what would you tell them?
Hey, you better have your boots strapped on tight. Because no, I'm just playing. Not that serious.
You said it's hot in here.
No, if you're really thinking about it, they talk about this all the time. You gotta have a means, a healthy means of decompressing, because when they talk about those jobs where when people retire, they usually pass away like a few years after. This is one of those jobs because of the stress. You're constantly hyper vigilant, like always looking over your shoulder at any moment. Like, you could be fighting for your life, and just thinking about fighting for your life all the time brings on a different type of stress. So you have to have your means of like decompressing. That's a must. You got to have that going in. I had music, I had God, I had my friends, I had my family. Exercise, I hoop all the time. So I have my outlets. Like I get off work and I go shoot some jump shots, and I'm able to go back to sleep comfortably and go back to work. So you got to have that. Just make sure you have that. A healthy outlet. A lot of people don't have healthy outlets, and it shows.
I want to ask you this one question, Sean.
What's up, man?
With with that environment, when people talk about prison and inmates, typically they're looked at as animals. And I know with you and a man with a heart, you had to learn the hard way, kind of like, don't shake hands, don't be so personable, don't be so nice. So just that difference between having a heart as a sheriff in there and seeing other people that don't care. Like they treat them like animals, they talk to them like animals, they have no respect for them because of, things that some have done and others probably got wrongly accused, but they're still human beings. How do you navigate that reality?
Well, and what sucks is that that's the culture. Like, if you're there, then you are wrong. You have done something to wrong somebody, and that's just what they believe. I already came in knowing that our justice system, I mean, being from where I'm from, I know that our justice system gets it wrong sometimes. So I carry that. I'm like, you could very well Martin Luther King went to jail, right? Like Muhammad Ali went to jail. Like, these are just some of the coolest people you will ever meet. I mean, I never met them, but I mean, these are clearly not terrible people, and they were in jail. So how do I know that the people that I'm with aren't just there passing through by way of mistake? I don't know that, and I have to be I have to be me. I have to be me. Like, I'm here for a reason. And if God put me here and gave me this heart, then it's like, I can't say that I really navigate through it. Like, I mean, I catch the haters. They don't like the fact that, I do laugh and tell jokes and I smile, and like, I don't hate the inmates. They hate that I don't hate them. Like, I'm like, oh, I wasn't taught to hate anybody. Like, that's what you did is between you and God. Whatever you did is between you and God. And I keep that at the forefront. That has nothing to do with me. I'm here to do a job. And, if you tell me your story, like, I'm going to tell you mine. And like, at the end of it, like, I'm not the judge. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to make sure that you get what you need moving forward. That's it. And
Is it a little different if you found out, if you know the background to certain folks that have done things to children?
Yeah.
Pedophiles and rapists and kidnappers and what I mean? Like,
that's where it gets sticky.
What is that? Yeah.
That's where it gets sticky, because the protective custody guys, the child molesters, that's tough, man. I purposely, when I'm working on the PC side, I purposely don't look up their charges because I don't really want to know. Like I said, like, it's between you and God.
Yeah. I'll be looking up everybody.
Like, the guys that I know that I'm going to be like one-on-one with, if I got to pull you out, like, if I know that you're assaultive towards, staff or something, that's something I want to know about. But like, your charges, like, I try not to know, because I'm human, and I will kind of look at you differently if I know the extent of your charge.
Yeah, that's tough.
But at the same time, it's like, yo, I'm still not the judge. I'm still not the judge, no matter how much I want to be, no matter how much and I hate what you've done or what they say you did. I don't know. I can't. I mean, all I know is that even on the outside, I still won't let you around my children, but I still hope the best for you.
You be getting a little less eggs than everybody else for breakfast. I'll tell you that. Hey, why y'all give me this little bit of in the corner? Like,
no, I've cheated a couple guys that had that attitude where they were like, yo, like, I did it, and I'll do it again. Like, those guys, I'm like, okay, well, you won't get recess today. Okay. Like, or Like,
No soup for you.
oh yeah,
No
no,
soup
you're
for
not
you.
eating. You're not eating today, big dog. Like, if that's your attitude towards something
Yeah.
perverted like that, like I can't get on board with it. But I still can't. I can't find room in my heart to
Judgment.
hate you. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's tough, man.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah, and I leave that stuff there. I don't bring that home. I don't bring
That's
that.
right.
I don't like
That's
to.
good, man.
I don't like to think about that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a little glimpse of.
Did we have a song? Did we have a song for this one?
Sean, do you have a song that you want to play? That you want played?
Don't.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Locked up, won't let me out.
See, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, where Akon at?
Yo.
I like to think of, okay, if there's a song I could play, it would probably be Jackie Wilson, Higher.
Play that joint.
I think about yeah, we could just play it. Like that's where I'm at when I'm in jail. That's where I'm at. Is the hopeful end of everything. I'm on the hopeful end of everything, ladies and gentlemen.
Optimism.
That's a good way to look at it, for sure.
Ride out on this.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you guys for being here today.
Thanks, Sean Donnie, for sharing.
Go ahead, let that love pick you up.
Appreciate you.
See y'all next week.
You know your love keep on lifting.